Hi.
Hi, thanks for joining us for another edition of Chronic Conversations. I don't know if you caught the beginning of that. That was my beautiful wife and host, Jen. I am always, and that's her hand. If you don't recognize it, that is her. My name is Jerry Leonard, a.k.a. Jerry Anderson, and I have a very special guest tonight. Before I get to him, let me give a shout out to a couple of my sponsors, including Not Bad Creations. Check them out on Facebook for all your paracord needs. As I said before, if you can think of it, they're very creative people. They can make it or they can find a way to make it. Also tonight, I'm going to be talking about a new sponsor. It's Jesse's Resale. It's located at 1202 Mission Ridge Road in Rossville, Georgia. Their operating hours are Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 5, and Saturday, 8 to 5. They're family owned and operated and have a ever-changing variety of stock items, including clothes. Check out their free clothes rack. They also offer furniture, firewood bundles for only $5, as well as a mixed variety of car maintenance parts and pieces, priced half retail. You good? And this, I'm not sure what this is. I'm sure you will, though. Also, check out our variety of Among Us poppets. Oh, okay, great. Moving right along. Even if you've been there before, though, stop by and see what's new. You good? It's a little wet right now. You need to tell you want to use. Here oh, you all right? She swallowed some stuff down the wrong way, laughing. All right. Okay, she's still alive. She's breathing. You good? Awesome. So,
Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't be sorry. Please choke, breathe, do what you need to do to stay alive. We need you as a co-host over here. And as my beautiful wife. All right, sorry about that, brother. Now getting to my guest. He's with us once again on the show. Good friend. Also a sponsor of the show, the CEO and head and big boss man of Sean Thompson's personal training. He is a certified personal trainer, a nutritionist, a USA certified boxing coach, a martial arts student. He has a yellow belt at this time. So as we talked about earlier, you're pursuing something new. So let that be something that could be a lesson to everybody that's watching, fans, friends, family. It's never too late to start something new, and you should do that. Thank you for joining us, Sean Thompson.
Man, I'm happy to be here, bro.
Let me turn you
Happy
up a
to be
little
here.
bit. Yeah, it's great to have you again. Like we were saying, you're starting a new venture now. You went the boxing route. You are a USA certified boxing coach, but now you've went down another lane and another avenue, the martial arts route. How's the cross training and that helped you become a better personal trainer?
So, honestly, it's been pretty good because I'm able to take what I already learned from guys like Skipper and
Mm-hmm.
Odell and Jackie. And real quick before we get into it, I do want to go on ahead and make an announcement to
You'll make an
everybody.
announcement,
This
right?
this Tuesday, from starting at 4:30. Red Bank Boxing Gym will be back open under the leadership of Jackie Godwin. I will be there as well. I will be his, I guess you could call it, second in command almost. I will be the one, running the personal training drills and helping out with the boxing and stuff like that. And of course, Jackie Godwin, he's had world champions train under him. He's one of a kind. His knowledge on old school boxing is immeasurable. I mean,
Right.
you can't find
That's great.
you. I can probably honestly say this with all honesty right now. In the in the city of Chattanooga, there's not somebody else who has more knowledge when it comes to that style of boxing that he likes to teach.
Well, that's great, man. That's really great. It's such a iconic thing, especially to us, because of your roots there, and then my roots run deep because that's where I boxed when I was younger,
A lot
as
of
well.
people's roots.
A lot of people's roots. RIP again to the coaches. Give them and their families a shout out. Thank you so much for the dedication they have. And man, thank you, Sean, for taking up their legacy and kind of walking in their footsteps and being the next generation, because without you, it would just kind of die, right? You kind of
Well, I
need
mean,
people to leave legacy to them.
well, sort of. So, I mean, as I said, Jackie Godwin, he's going to be the mantelpiece. He's going to be the
Mhm.
head coach. I'm
Right,
just going
of
to be
course.
there helping out wherever I can.
Right.
Uh, what I've learned from those guys, I'm going to apply it. What I've learned from a good friend of mine, Coach Bullitt. I'm going to Las Vegas trainer out in Las Vegas. You've met him a few times, been on the
Shout out,
podcast.
coach.
Yeah, I'm going to impart a bit of what he's taught me into it. I'm gonna so everything that's happened, the past 5 years of my life, it's all going to be manifested into the coaching style that I bring to the table.
Right. So it just, now you have this wide variety of mentors as well as styles that you can go to. So it kind of gives you a bigger knowledge base too to work with, maybe possibly a bigger niche of clientele as well, right?
Yeah.
Because you know how
So
to get in
Red
shape
Bank
for boxing,
Boxing.
you know how to get in shape for martial arts, and
Right,
so forth.
right. So as far as personal training goes and everything, that will still be taking place up at the up at the karate studio that or that I'm training at.
Hmm.
So me and her have a deal worked out where I can come in and train my personal clients and everything. We have our own deal worked out. I'm not going to go into detail on that,
Right. No need to.
but so my personal training will remain at the karate studio for now.
Mhm.
So I will be a volunteer coach up at Red Bank Boxing Club. Everybody there is going to be a volunteer coach.
Awesome.
Um, but we will have different rules and regulations. We're not just going to let it come in and like it was the past few years where it's a free for all. Everybody just comes in and you sign a waiver and you're good to go, right? No,
Right.
you're still going to have to sign the waiver, but we're
Hmm.
also going to have you joining USA Boxing. You're either going to be a coach or you're going to be a boxer.
Yeah.
One of the two. We're gonna bring it back to what Skipper had it, when he was in his youth, where
What he
it's
had
a
his
straight up
name.
boxing gym. It's going to
Mhm.
be a straight boxing gym. You're going to be going in there to get in shape to become a boxer.
Right. I'm so old. I'm pre-boxing gym. When I boxed for Skipper, we boxed at the junior high in the gym and had to wait till wrestling was over, and we'd help roll up the mats and then have to hang up all the heavy bags. So if you go to this gym, be appreciative and being grateful for the people that came before you, because at one
Definitely.
time all that wasn't possible. Right.
Right, and that's the way that it should be with anything, not just boxing. You should, I mean, everything that you do, you should appreciate the greats that paved the way for you to be able to
Absolutely.
come through there. Like I mean, we both had our experiences with pro wrestling. No matter what, you should always look up to the guys that came before you and say, "All right,
Right.
how can I learn from them?"
Right.
Whether it be, "Oh my God, these guys were amazing. They did everything right. They had this fruitful career." That's great to look at. Obviously, that's great to look at, and learn
Hmm.
what to do. But in my opinion, you also need to look at the guys who didn't have a great career, who just kind of did it on the side, or were rather, not just plain out not good and needed to leave it because
Right.
you need to
Not
learn
for
from them.
everybody.
Not for everybody, right? And you need to look at those guys that weren't good and didn't make it. You need to go, all right, how can I learn from them what not to do?
Right.
You need to
You
have
need
the best.
mistakes. You need mistakes to learn, right? Because that's the only
Right,
time you really learn is when you fail or make mistakes.
right. I mean, if you succeed 100% of the time, what have you really learned? That you've
Yeah.
got talent. That
I've
you've got
often heard
talent. Cool.
fighters, from boxers to MMA fighters and such, say that, once they were undefeated, that uh,
The
they felt on
thrill
top
left
of the
them.
world and stuff, but until they lost their first fight, they didn't feel like they
Yeah.
truly became a better fighter or broke through a ceiling or a
Right.
barrier, because you don't know how much better you can be until you realize, okay, somebody can be better than me, right?
Yeah. And see, exact proof of that. A couple of years ago, my first year as a coach, a couple of years ago, like my first year as an actual, certified coach and everything, able to be up there
Mhm.
at the ringside and all that. We had a boxer. He was phenomenal. His first 3 fights, he came out there and got knockouts in the first round.
Mhm.
Phenomenal, right? That fourth fight, he didn't want to fight anymore after that fourth fight. He found it wasn't a challenge to him anymore, you
Right.
know? So we were like, well, come on, one more fight, one more fight. Well, he was wanting a challenge, so Skipper paired him up with somebody a little bit more experienced, right?
Mhm.
Well, match time comes, he loses the fight after going the distance. Instead
Right.
of taking from that and going, all right, how can I be better? He just
Right.
straight up quit. He was just like, all right, and I don't know what his mentality was, that if I can't be, or that if I'm not immediately the best, instead of working to be the best, I'm just going to quit, or what it was. But at the same time, I look at guys like that and I'm like, man, if you it, and I wish that I knew where to find him, because I'd look at him now. A couple of years back, I had the knowledge, but I didn't have the experience and the wisdom that I have now.
Right.
And if I could just look at him, a couple of years ago and be like, man, you need to know, if you fail, that's how you get better,
Right.
so to speak. Like, you're going to have losses, you're going to have setbacks in life, learn from them, grow from them. Don't just accept them and go, all right, well, since I lost, I just need to move on to something else,
Yeah.
you
Don't
know?
don't celebrate the victories too much. Don't mourn the losses too much.
Right.
Right. Just keep
Exactly.
a even head, a balanced head,
Right.
and a steady spirit. And
That's
what
what
you're
makes a
talking
great
about
fighter.
really is because of today's society, right? It's a microwave society. It's fast food. It's I'll stick this in the microwave. It's I need this right now. So
It
it's
is.
people expect that. Pro wrestlers that are getting in it, they want the belt the first day, and I need to
Yeah.
win because my family's watching. And it's the same way, I guess, across the board. It's just everybody expects everything to happen now. But what's
Yeah.
that saying? A
And
master has failed more times than a student has even tried.
right. And that's the thing, on the opposite end of that spectrum. When it comes to wrestling, I mean, you saw my, or my younger years when I first started wrestling, right? You saw that I got thrust into a spotlight, an immediate spotlight, working with Sean Tempers.
Yeah,
It was at the time one of the biggest spotlights anybody could ask for.
sink or swim. Yeah.
Yeah. And luckily I swam for quite a while.
Mhm.
But I let that ego get to me, right? Like, when Tempers was gone, I thought because I had done this, that because I had, that name on my resume, that I should immediately be, managing this guy over here. I should be main
Right.
eventing with this guy over here. And the truth is, I was young, I was dumb. I look
Right.
back at that time and I'm like, man, if I could tell my younger self, hey, you don't need to have that sense of entitlement. That entitlement doesn't belong to you.
Right.
I 100% would tell myself that.
So you
I
think that's a thing? It's just a thing of maturity. Maybe you gotta hit
Yeah,
that point in that age to where you appreciate things a little better.
yeah, that's all it is. Like, I can guarantee you, if I had met Skipper and Odell in my youth, I probably wouldn't have been appreciative of what they tried to do.
Yeah.
Now I can look at that and go, man, without those guys, I'm not who I am today.
Right.
And I think honestly, a lot of kids that are
Same.
my
Same.
yeah,
That's they affected so many lives. Again,
they
man,
did. I
it's
mean, Skipper
generations,
and Odell. Yeah,
generations.
KK. KK will tell you right off the bat. I guarantee you, if you ask KK, he's immediately going to tell you that he don't know where he's at in life without Odell.
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't know where he's at in life without Odell.
Right.
Up until up. I mean, our first fight at the pavilion. Our first fight at that pavilion, man, he was torn up. He was, his mind wasn't where it needed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I called Odell, and man, Odell spent about 5 minutes on the phone with him, just 5 minutes. But after
Yeah.
that 5 minutes, KK, something clicked in him. He was like, all right, we got this. He just needed to hear from the guy who, as he put it, Odell raised him from a child.
Yeah.
He came to Odell as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Odell was there for everything
Yeah.
in his life. Every major event in his life, Odell was there for.
Wow.
So it's unreal. And I guarantee you, they got into coaching with the idea of, coming out and helping kids better their life. But I don't think
Right.
either one of them, Skipper or Odell, could have imagined the effect that they would
Right.
have on so many lives.
So many. And like I
You know,
said, again, to reiterate, generations, like,
generations. I got
several
people my
generations
age.
deep.
I got people my age that come that I'll run into at the karate studio, coming in for class or whatever. When I'm coming in for my class,
Hmm.
and the kids are leaving, they see my USA boxing hoodie. Hey man, I used to box. Did you know Skipper Fairbanks? Well, yeah, I knew Skipper. He taught me everything I knew. Oh yeah, I boxed for him when I was a kid. I did this,
Yeah.
I did that. Hey, did you know Alfred Odell? Yeah, I knew him too. It was always just people knew who they were. People, they helped so many people's lives that I don't think
Yeah.
that can ever be duplicated.
No, no. They helped so many young men kind of help grow up and through that phase of their life.
Right.
Like we've said, we've both had many mentors in many different ventures, and now you're even branching out and getting new mentors. Um, for somebody who's just because everybody wants a guru, right? For
Right.
somebody who's looking for that, how do they avoid like the dangers of the scammers and the people that don't know what they're talking about and the armchair quarterbacks and things like that? Like, how do they know coming to Thompson's personal training? Like I said, we give your status, you're certified, you have experience. Not only that, but you've done all the things you've talked about. There's before and after pictures on your page, on our page. So what else can they look for to make sure they're going to get their money's worth and not somebody that's just trying to grab their dollar bills that really cares about them and their health?
Uh, Personally, if you come to me, you're going to get you are going to get everything that you want out of it. Everything that you give to it is what you're going to get.
Right.
I'm going to give the same effort that you will give. If I see you coming in for your session and you're always working hard and you're not complaining and you're doing your best, even if you
Hmm.
fail at an exercise, if you get back up and you're trying again, I'm going
Right.
to I'm going to give you that same amount of effort. You come in and give me 110%, I'm going to give you 110%. If you come in, you're wanting to talk, you're wanting to goof off, you're not wanting to work, guess what? That's fine. You can pay me to talk and goof off and work too. I'm not going to turn
Right.
down your money, but understand that you're probably not going to see results, and that's not going to be on me. That's going to be on you because you're not
Got to
giving
take
the
personal
effort.
responsibility, right?
Yeah, you have to have personal responsibility to a certain extent. Now, if I come in, or now if you come in and you're sitting there and it's somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. They have no certifications to back them up. They have no education to back them up. I'll tell you right now, I'm always learning. I
Right.
will always learn
You
something
also
new.
do the seminars. I've seen you talking about going to those online. So yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point. It's
okay. So yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, like Dean Graziosi, I use him as a mentor. He is a huge American entrepreneur. Him and Tony Robbins both.
right.
Um, I mean, they are, when it comes to motivational speaking, when it comes to real estate, they have their hand in a little bit of everything. And I try to emulate that,
Right.
from my nutrition aspect, try to emulate that with nutrition and stuff of that nature. I'm sitting there constantly, looking for something new to do, like Taekwondo. When the boxing gym first closed down and nobody knew what was going on, it was up in the air. The city
Hmm.
of Red Bank locked the doors. I had nobody knew what was going on. I was like, well, I
Right.
can still practice boxing on my own, but I need a new craft. And I I was handing out cards one day to people, and I walked over because I had seen her sign that said Ultimate Success Karate,
Hmm.
and I was like, huh. I was like, all right, let me go over here and just. I said, I kind of want to see what this is about here. I don't know. And I walked over there, I introduced myself to her, and she was like, yeah, I could use somebody who really knows fitness. I could use
Hmm.
somebody who really knows fitness. And in exchange, I'll teach you the martial arts. I'll be honest with you right now. I'll say it right now. I'm a yellow belt. I
Right.
barely know how to, I've always had a semi decent roundhouse kick, but I've always called it an insecurity when because of wrestling, right?
Right.
I
Right.
didn't know,
Right.
I never put the two and two together for it.
So
So,
this is Talon, and he says hello, good brothers. On
hey,
our
what's up, Kellen? But I really know nothing about the martial arts. I'm learning,
Right.
and that's the thing with me. I'm always learning. I'm always going to evolve. And back to, what you were asking, how can somebody avoid a scammer?
Mm-hmm.
I think about it this way. If you go to a trainer and
Mm-hmm.
he thinks he knows everything, right? The trainer
Right.
thinks they know everything. There's your scammer.
Right.
If you have a trainer who will absolutely tell you without a doubt that they can, no matter what your condition is, no matter what you have going on in your past, they can transform your life. They
Right.
can do this for you. They can do that. And they're
False
just
hope that
spouting
they're
out
telling you.
everything. Yeah, they're telling you everything that they can do for you and, this and that. Cool. Good for them to a certain extent, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then you have to ask, actions speak louder than words. Anytime I get any sort of good review, it immediately goes up on social media.
Yeah.
Like Paula, my nutrition client, as soon as she sent me that email, she was like, "Hey, I want you to use this as a testimony from me." So I immediately posted it up on social media, to show people, hey, I do know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just going to sit there and tell you, yeah, I know how to do that. I'm going to show you I know how to do it.
And as an example to that, I have also went to school, for some personal training and nutrition and various other things. And Sean is who I go to for advice. So there's levels to this stuff. There's people that are Sean's mentors that he goes to, and then I go to him. So you know that his information is both relevant and useful, because if not, then it's not somebody that I'm going to waste my time talking to.
Right, and that's the thing. When it comes to nutrition, I go to if I have a question that I can't answer, that somebody comes to me with, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to look at a guy, and you can find him on Facebook as well. I'm going to look at a guy by the name of Dakota Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he's a good friend of mine. I met him through a fitness group that I'm on there, and basically, I will go to him. I'll be like, "Hang on a minute, I can't get you that answer. Here's somebody who can."
Right.
And I
And
have.
that's another way you can tell somebody's real too, because they're willing to admit when they don't know. They won't try to make up an answer just to
Yeah,
sound smart or.
no, and that's like, who was it? I can't remember who it was. I can't remember their name, but somebody came to me and asked me if I could give them a plan, just an at-home plan
Mm-hmm.
that they could do and follow, that was for, bodybuilding and stuff like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know too much about bodybuilding. I lift weights, but I don't know too terribly much about everything that a bodybuilder would need to eat to bulk up. I
Right.
can tell you what the average person needs to bulk up.
Right.
But when you're talking about competing at a bodybuilder level,
It's very
and I told
specific
them,
math. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I said, your best bet. I said, let me hook you up with my buddy Dakota. I said, he can help you out. He's a bodybuilder himself. I said, let
Right.
him help you out. And he was like, yeah, but I seen you because you're cheap. I said, well, I said, he can work something out with you. I was like,
Right.
if you're just wanting to, I said, if you have a son who's looking to start off bulking, I can help him there. But I said,
Right.
you're talking about competing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're talking
Competition is a
about
whole different thing. Yeah.
yeah, I cannot tell. I guarantee you, if I tried to bulk someone up for a bodybuilding competition or a strongman competition, I can guarantee you, odds are their nutrition is going to be way off compared to their competitors.
Right.
Because I did not study for that. I studied
Right.
to help boxers. I
Right.
studied to help pro wrestlers. I
Right.
studied to help the average everyday person. Not
Mhm.
saying boxers or pro wrestlers are average everyday people, because they're
Right.
not. You get what I mean. I help to study
Absolutely.
those three groups. I help to study three specific groups. I can
Mhm.
help you in a combat sport. If it's and I tell people all this time, combat if it's outside of combat sports, it's
Mhm.
out of my realm of expertise.
Right.
I cannot tell
You
you.
need somebody to train you for the next football combine. Let me see who I can talk to and get you to
Yeah,
that person. But that's a great thing about
exactly.
you too, Sean, is that again, you don't try to pretend like you know it all. You are smart enough to know what you don't know, and if you can't help a client, then you're going to send them to somebody who can help them.
Right, exactly. And and that's the way every trainer should be, honestly. That's the way that this business
One would
should.
hope, anyway.
Yeah, you would hope, because I didn't get into personal training to make $1 million. You know, don't get me
Right.
wrong. Do not get me wrong. I would love to make $1 million.
Not
I'd
gonna
love to
turn it
make
down,
millions.
but yeah, that's not your
Yeah,
purpose. Gotcha.
I would love to make millions of dollars with this stuff. But honestly, I'm also not going to sit there and sacrifice someone else's health just for the sake of a dollar. I'm going to
Yeah,
help them
no,
in any way I can. If someone looks at me and says, I can't, or I need this, well, I don't know this. Let me send you over to this guy. You
right.
need this. I know this. So, and I would hope that other trainers would be the same. You know, hey, I don't know this. Let me send you to X person. Let me send you to Y. You know, and I know that there are trainers out there that are like, oh, well, I can help you. I can help you. You're just going to have to give me a few days. And
Yeah.
instead of that,
Let
you
me
know,
Google it and see what the
yeah,
get a
let me
summary
Google.
get a
Yeah,
summary of it and
let me get on Dr. Google and see what I can figure. Come on,
yeah.
man. You know, that's why we go to school. That's why we learn to be
Hmm.
able to. It, I got into personal training. I got into fitness because of the way that it made me feel. I
Right.
started losing weight. I mean, you remember, I mean, you've shown the before and after pictures of me.
Hmm.
You remember what I look like.
I do.
You remember it firsthand. You know, I was miserable. I was fat. I was out of shape. I couldn't, I could probably run around a wrestling ring twice. And then I'm sitting there, you know, you know, but
You gonna do a
that,
run in? No, I'll do a walk
yeah,
in.
yeah, right. Yeah. Can we do a wheel in? Is it possible for me to come
Yeah.
in a car? You know, I don't even want to walk to the
Piggyback
ring.
in something.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, I started up there with Red Bank Boxing, you know, 5 years ago.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, this is making me feel good. I started noticing I had more energy throughout the day. I mean, I was really, really depressed, you know, at the time that I started with boxing. I was so depressed in life. I didn't know what I was going to do. You know, about 3 months before I started with boxing, I had made a suicide attempt. And honestly, if that wasn't for Jaden Newman, shout out Jaden, great wrestler, phenomenal talent,
GWE.
booking, yep, booking on
Speaking
all
of
your
Red Bank,
shows. Oh yeah, and he's done a lot. You know, you can look him up. His resume speaks for himself.
it
But
does.
so if he hadn't come to my door that day, banging on the door, I would not be here today. Him, he came up to ask me to go with him to when he was going to get his tattoo. He wanted
Hmm.
me to go with him when he was going to get his tattoo, and he come up banging on the door, and I just remember go away. He hollered at I forget who he had with him, but he was like, "Hey, give me a card. I'm going in anyways."
Hmm.
He was going to get into my house one way or another. And so finally, I just opened the door. I was like, "What, dude? Go away! Leave me the hell alone!" And he bust in. He's like, "Get ready! You're coming with me to go get a tattoo." I was like, "I'm not getting a tattoo." He said, "No, I am. You're coming with me though." And I mean, showed up completely unannounced. I
Buffering.
was sitting here when he
There
showed
we
up.
go.
I was sitting here playing Call of Duty. Had a suicide note written out.
Oh,
Right?
hold on, bro.
Yeah. You there, Jerry? Jerry. What the? What just happened? I'm live. What is going on here?
the thing here. Add me back. We had some technical difficulties.
Sean's gone.
Yeah, I lost Sean. Sean, I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to send you an invite, sir.
You'll have to start back that story. He said, okay. He's coming back.
We're going to try to get him back now. That'll work. That'll do the job. We've been having some, I apologize. I don't have a, here he comes.
All right.
Oh, look, we started buffering. I lost connection. I was telling him earlier, I apologize to everybody watching if there's a blank space there for a little bit. We're having some Wi-Fi difficulties, and I don't have a hard line to plug into.
So you were at the Get Out.
So you were at the Get Out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I told him I'd get out and everything. See, I was sitting in here in my living room playing Call of Duty. My intent was, and I had the note written out and everything, my intent was play the game of Call of Duty, walk into my bathroom, get in the tub, and you can figure out the rest from there.
Right.
You know. So that was my intent when he walked into the – if he didn't make me go with him to get the tattoo, I would not be sitting here today.
Well, definitely thank you, Jaden Newman. You're here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, just a few months later, I would find boxing, and that would pull me out of everything, you know. Not saying I don't still struggle with it, because I do. I still have those thoughts. Those thoughts are always going to be there. But, you know.
And I wrote a blog, you know, about anxiety, and I gave lists, because we talk about a microwave society, and I gave a list of different things that help fix my anxiety puzzle, or different pieces that I have to have in place, from meditation to working out to other things. And I've often had people ask me, you know, how do you get through that? It's like, sometimes I want to say, I know what you want me to say, you know, you want me to throw a pill at you, but a lot of times something as easy as changing some things, like switching to drinking water and exercising and getting better sleep, can change things dramatically.
It can. It really can, you know, and that's the thing. Everybody talks about, here's something else that I hate so much. I hate the astigmatism that if you, you know, you need to work on yourself and learn to be happy by yourself before you find someone else. Guess what? Sometimes, no matter what you do, I'm living proof of it. No matter what you do, you will never be happy by yourself. You know, you'll never be happy by yourself. And it's nothing, you know, it's nothing that can be worked on. It's just the fact is that, you know, you're not happy doing everything alone all the time. That in of itself can be very depressive.
Right.
You know.
Yes, and everybody's different. You know, some people, you know, are super introverted and prefer to be on their own a lot, but then some people are not, and they need, as the human animal we are for the most time, need social connections, right?
Exactly.
It is hard to function in society with no friends, no significant other, no anything. You have to have people in your life. You have to have a circle. We talk about the toxic tribalism to where, you know, people pick this team or that team or Democrat or Republican, but really there's some good tribalism too. There's the positive, or the yin to the yang, that is a whole neighborhood coming together to raise a child, because, you know, say it takes a tribe. And in social circles, when you have a good circle, they can lift you up, and you can lift them up when they need it, and everybody's kind of there, and it's like a puzzle to where everything kind of interconnects, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing of, you know, the Army used to have a saying, you know, what was it? One army or something like that. I forget what
Army
it was.
Of one, yeah.
Yeah, Army of one. You know, and I 100% get that. When people work together to become one, it changes everything. You think one guy could have just walked up into Osama bin Laden's little encampment and captured him alone? Or do you think it took that entire team to make it happen? You know, that's stuff like that is why I hate the idea that you need to work on yourself and be happy by yourself before you
here's the
about
thing, the problem is people think you have to be happy. This is life in reality. There is a yin and yang. There's pain, there's hurt, there's disappointment, there's good things, and there's bad things. What you need to do is not learn to be happy. It's learn to be content or accept whatever you feel, right? Because resistance is pain. I've talked about this before. Whether it's physical or mental, resisting things is what is pain. Either do something about it or accept it and move on. There's not much you can do, right? Everything else is really insanity.
Me, I am a person who, yes, I live alone, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I just like to sit on my couch, get stoned, not worry about the world, and just and just watch some stupid TV. But also on the flip side of that, while I do enjoy my alone time, if you told me, hey, I'm going to need you to spend 7 straight days alone, come in contact with no other human, I'm going to absolutely lose it. I'm going to be like, no, you're asking way too much of me. I can do that for maybe a day. Well, and then I'm sitting around going,
think about somebody in jail and prison that's put in solitary, and the reason they do that is because of the psychological discourse that happens.
Mm-hmm. See, I was in a long distance relationship for a long time, right? And I thought that, it was what I needed. Turns out I felt more alone in a long distance relationship than I did while I was actually single. Right. So I had to get out.
That can happen with people you live with. It's that's the crazy thing about it is there's people you can live with and feel alone.
Yeah. But I had to get out of it because I was like, man, she's adding nothing to me. Not saying it was a bad relationship, but personally, it was adding nothing to my mental health. It wasn't making me feel, happy.
Sometimes people don't resonate, right? For whatever reason. Exactly. Nobody's fault. You're not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It's just it is what it is, right?
Right. It is what it is. And that's what I told her. It is what it is. I can't. I told her, I said, it ain't going to, this long distance thing isn't working for me, but neither one of us were in a situation where, she'd come down here.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like, all right, well, it is what it is. And it worked out. It worked out. I will never say a bad word against her ever. She's a good girl. She's a really good girl. Great human being.
Right.
But
awesome.
At the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be for us, Right. Now I am seeing a girl right now that, just so happy. You know what I'm saying? Spend time together, all of that, just extremely, extremely happy.
Congrats on that, man. Good to see you happy. You deserve it, brother.
Right. And well, thank you for that, and so, but stuff like that, you need to learn to be alone. Man, I tried the alone thing. I was at my worst when I was alone. I realized that I was at my worst when I was alone because I was left to my demons when I was alone.
Right. I get people that are trying to help. I get that. People are trying to help, but they're giving advice. And I tell people when I give advice, all I can tell you is from my perspective. I'm not you. Yeah. It's your life. It's your thoughts. It's your perspective.
Right.
It's how you feel. Exactly. You don't need to do anything but be who you are, and that's okay. People always want somebody to be somebody different, and you can be who you are and be happy.
Right, exactly. And
even if it's not being happy.
Right. But that's the thing, I hate saying it because it may some people may interpret it as me being weak, but I'm not really being weak to say that I need humans. I need people. Yeah, I am not the person that can sit there and be alone. If I'm alone and I haven't checked in for a couple of days with somebody, they might want to, get a hold of me because odds are I'm left to my own thoughts, and sometimes my thoughts are not good thoughts.
Right.
As
we all have, and I've said this many times on the show, it's okay to think about giving up 1 billion times as long as you don't.
Right.
People will literally get down on themselves for just thinking about it. And you got to understand we're all humans and we all have thoughts, good, bad, negative, positive, and everywhere in between. But at the end of the day, I've said this before too, they're clouds. It's a thought and emotion. It's here, it's floating past, and it's going to be gone on to the next one. Here comes the next emotion, the next phase in your life. So for people out there who feel like they have no hope, you really don't know, and you may have more hope than you even realize, and it could be closer than you think. So you can't give up. You got so many people I've heard in my life, and I'm basing it on this alone. I'm not a scientist. I haven't done a double-blind study. I just lost my train of thought. You want to help me out here?
Smoking too much there, Terry.
I was going too hard, man. I was going too hard in the paint, brother. What was I just saying? We're going to have to edit this out.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. We're live. You can't edit it now, brother. My tank, we're live, brother. We're live, pal. We're live.
This isn't the first, nor will it be the last time I have lost my train of thought. I was going really hard in the paint. We'll see if we can remember what we was talking about and go back. But to talk a little bit of boxing, Clarissa Shields won again.
I saw that.
Is there anything left for her to do in boxing at this point, do you think? I mean, I think that's part of the reason why she's went to MMA is just that.
I think so. I think that's the thing. She feels like she's accomplished all she can, so she has to, tackle a new avenue. And you know what? No hate towards her. No hate
absolutely.
whatsoever.
I love combat sports, so it's cool for me to watch her in the organization she's made a deal with now. As fun as it is watching her box. I love it all.
Yeah, same here. I love all combat sports. When it comes to me being a sports enthusiast, do not get me wrong. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I love football. I'm a diehard.
It's buffering again. Something's going wrong. I'm losing you.
I'm a diehard Georgia fan. I was raised a Georgia fan. So, when they won the Natty, I was beyond the ecstatic. I was over the moon with happiness.
Watch this, people. I'm an Alabama fan. Congrats, brother. You deserved it, man. I'm happy for you. I'm truly happy for you, for real.
Yeah, well, I'm
happy for all Georgia fans. Like I'm not a hater. Like I don't. It's not that personal to me. I didn't play for Alabama or Georgia. Okay.
Right. Same here.
I don't have family that goes there. I don't.
The only reason that it was so emotional to me was because my dad is a Georgia fan. Granddaddy was a Georgia fan.
Right.
I'm a Georgia fan. It's 3 generations of Georgia fans. Granddaddy never got to see that national championship.
Right.
Dad does. But Dad had to wait, for 40 years to see it. This is
I'm a Titans fan. I feel you, brother. I understand.
Yeah.
We've gotten this close just about twice. It just like I'm not getting any younger.
Right. But
I love sports and I'm a fan, and I think I'm just happy for people who are happy, who are my friends, just because their teams are different than mine or possibly
you can't be. Now during the season when teams get ready to match up, we were talking shit back and forth with each other. Tennessee.
But we do that anyway. That's us, right?
Yeah. I was talking shit with KK back and forth. We were talking our smack back and forth because he's a Tennessee fan.
Yes,
it's all love, though. You deal with it. Now, granted, and all of
you can be different. So what you're telling me is you can be different, be compassionate and kind at the same time.
Right. I wonder, man. It's kind of hard, isn't it? Yeah. But honestly, man, as much. I love the Atlanta Hawks. I'm a huge Atlanta Hawks basketball fan. But if you had to ask me, which one would you rather go out? Would you rather, never watch another fight in your life, whether it be boxing, MMA, pro wrestling, a taekwondo tournament, whatever? Would you rather never watch another fight in your life or never watch another down of football? Guess what? I'm looking at the Buffalo Bills. I'm looking at the Georgia Bulldogs going, love y'all. Hope y'all have all the success in the world. But
honestly, sometimes and Jesse McClure is on here. He says, glad to see you on here. It's been too long.
Yeah, it has been. It has been, man.
Damn, I lost my train of thought again. What was we just talking about, Sean?
We were talking about
I've been
combat
hitting
Saying
your head way too
goodbye
much.
to football.
Saying goodbye to
Yeah.
football. Yes. Combat sports. Honest to God, I'm mostly a combat sports fan. I
Same
say
here.
this. I say I'm a combat sports fan. I'm mostly an Alabama fan because I'm a heel and they're the heels and everybody hates Alabama fans and everybody hates Alabama. So I think it's funny. So I like to
I
troll.
mean, hey, a dude even wrote a song about hating Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But if it's not Titans, I really don't care. I don't care who's in the Super Bowl. I don't
Right.
care any. So it's really I'm a combat
get me
sports
wrong.
fan and then Titans.
I hope the LA Rams win it just because of the simple fact of who their quarterback is. Matthew Stafford played at Georgia, watched him play as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Well, not really as a kid, but as a younger man, I've watched him play. You know, so I hope he gets his moment. I hope he gets his Super Bowl ring. Beyond that, I could care less.
Speaking of fighting and Coach Bullet, I saw that the Raleigh thing's back on.
It is, yes.
That is greatness. That's good news.
Everything that they've tried, man. All right, so that whole thing, man, it had to be a publicity stunt. You know what I'm saying? It had to be a publicity stunt.
I thought it was awful weird timing, literally like right before.
Yeah, right like a week before the fight.
Like you couldn't have brought that up a week ago, a year ago, a month ago, 10 years ago.
But you know what? That's the thing. It was and I'll say it right now. I don't know him. Massive respect for what he's done in the ring. But if you ask me, Tank was looking for a way to duck him. Gervonta Davis.
There's a lot of people that believe that exact same thing. Yeah,
Romero at that time.
Yeah.
And I think, and honestly, if you ask me, Tank still doesn't want no part of Rolly Romero.
Is there anything Tank can do to win this one, or is Raleigh just too strong? You think for him? Is he hit too hard?
Rolly is ready. See, here's the thing. All right, I watched Tank fight a lot. I watched Gervonta Davis fight a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, watched a lot of his fights. Great fighter. No disrespect to him whatsoever. I know how Coach Bullet trains.
Right.
You know, I know Coach Bullet trains his fighters to fight, not to box, to fight.
Yeah.
When Raleigh steps in that ring, Gervonta Davis may be looking at a boxing match perspective. Oh, this is just another boxing match. Rolly Romero is looking at it like it's a straight up dogfight, and that's how he's going to approach it.
Right. So the mentality going into it has so much to do with it because I've said ad nauseum, and I'll probably continue to say is that so much of it is psychological. I don't think unless you've competed in the sport or in any sport at some level, you're not going to quite comprehend what it takes psychologically to perform at something that, you know, there's so much pressure of your coach, your team, your fans, your hometown, you know, your record, your reputation. There's so much to lose at this stage of the game. So I can definitely see why he'd be trying to dodge him.
Yeah, that's the thing. You look at it like this. Look at everything Gervonta Davis has to lose. Right? He's got all that pressure on him. Rolly has to prove himself, right? He's already proven himself, but he has to prove himself to a certain extent in this. And Coach Bullet has to prove himself to a certain extent. You there?
Uh-oh, here we go again.
Okay, we're good.
We're starting to buffer again. I'm starting to lose. Are you good? All right, we're good again. Sorry about that, brother.
Your Aunt Lori's watching.
Did you hear that?
Who?
Your Aunt Lori?
No.
You have an Aunt Lori?
Yeah.
No.
Deanna's sister?
Deanna's sister?
Aunt Lori. I thought you said Grant Lori.
Oh,
no. My Aunt Lori's watching. Okay.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, and I'm going to tell you this straight up, Gervonta Davis, you a great fighter. Gervonta Davis, if you even, I know I'm a nobody to you, right? But if you watch this, you a great fighter. All the respect in the world. Rolly's going to knock your ass out, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I
Rolly's
tell
going to knock your ass out.
Yeah, that's my prediction as well. What is? Do you know what's going on with the Juan Torres situation and the Ron Guerrero
No, not
with that
really.
upcoming fight?
Not really.
Okay, just to give you a quick rundown, and I apologize to either gentleman if I mess up their story or get something wrong. I'm not trying to lie. Just as you see, I'm brain dead. Been hit in the head a lot. I think I mentioned that earlier. I can't remember. But basically, they had fought before. Juan won by decision, but not by knockout. He had a mentor, very good man, very close mentor, pass away himself not too long
Right.
ago,
Yeah,
as
I
you know,
remember that.
as well. So anyway, he feels like it was his destiny to knock this guy out, and that's kind of in a way he's doing it, for him. And as he mentioned, a lot of people had told him, we need to do it for yourself. And I had mentioned, kind of, if you're doing it for him, you are doing it for yourself. Well, the other guy, he claims that this guy was dodging him. This other guy kind of called Juan a liar, I guess, but saying that he did agree to it or something like that. I don't know the other guy. I do know Juan. I trust Juan. He's teacher of the year. I just don't see him as a liar. Again, being as impartial as I can, being on the show, but I am, friends with Juan, so I am going to tend to. I did watch that last fight, and from my perspective, and this is honest, I felt like he won that pretty easily, hands down. I'm nobody. I'm not a judge. I did a little amateur boxing, but I'm not even like Sean. I'm not certified or anything. So this is purely just fanboy armchair quarterback opinion. But I think Juan will knock him out within 3 to 4 rounds.
We talked about knocking some people out over here, and I hope Juan does. You know what? Juan's a friend of mine. I hope he knocks. I hope he knocks the guy out. I really do.
Yeah.
When we talk about knockouts, let's talk about February 19th in Cleveland, Tennessee.
February 19th in Cleveland, Tennessee. Something's coming up.
Yeah. So
Speaking
I'm
of
sure
Coach K, we was talking about. That's
yeah.
For
Yep.
4611 boxing promotions.
Yep.
Coach Kenny Moore.
Avis Griffin is fighting, and Cleo is making his debut that night as well. Cleo Mitchell.
Those boys been working hard. You can go on Facebook and look at all their training sessions up there.
They have been working
Las
hard.
Vegas and then the Mayweather gym
they have been working hard. I'm gonna be there with them. I'm gonna walk both of them out. Right. I'm gonna be part of their walkout crew that night. And talking about getting some knockouts, Avi is going to get that knockout and continue that undefeated streak.
Yeah, I believe that's definitely going to happen as well.
And Cleo's going to start his own undefeated streak. Cleo's going to start out 1-0 in his debut.
Yeah, they have put in an incredible amount of blood, sweat, tears, of hard work, sacrifice. And these are guys that you're definitely going to watch now while you can afford some tickets, because there's going to be a time when you can't even afford to watch them on television, let alone see them live. There's nothing like seeing it live.
Next week in Atlanta, the very next week in Atlanta, Avis will be fighting again, this time on television. So,
I knew something else was coming up for Atlanta. I wasn't sure what.
Yeah. But definitely, man, Chattanooga, y'all get y'all's tickets. Come out February 19th. Show up, show out, show your support for these hometown boys.
Yeah, they deserve it. They definitely earn your support.
Oh, 100%. And I know we've only got a little bit of time left. I know you keep yours at about 1 hour or so. So real quick, lately I've been working with a buddy of mine. And we've put together this thing called Dirty South Authentics, taken after our gaming group. We've been gaming together for about 8-9 years at this point. And he has always wanted to, like do those conventions and everything for a living, right? Like sell toys, get
Yeah.
autographs and stuff like that, and resell and everything for a living. Well,
Hmm.
he sent me, or me and him were talking one day, and he was like, "Man," he said, why don't you do this with me? He said, "You my best friend. I think we could do something together. Why don't we do it?"
Hmm.
And so, we did a smaller con down in Alabama called Alabama Comic Con. Now I know, or you name a state and then put Comic Con after it. You're not expecting something small, right? But it was
Right.
a
Right.
smaller con. It was their first year doing it,
Uh
so it
huh.
was a smaller con. Um, so we did that. I got to meet my childhood hero and bawl like a baby when I met Sting. Not even gonna lie about it. I mean, I
I
cried.
was
I
about to
mean,
say I don't remember being there, but you've already met me, so I didn't know who else you could possibly be talking about. Well, that's awesome, brother. What was that
yeah. I mean,
moment like?
oh
You feel like a
man,
kid
I'm telling you
again?
right now, 100%. I got up to him and I was cool the entire way. I was excited, right? I was like, I'm gonna meet Sting. I'm gonna meet Sting. And then I got there and I look up at him and I had to look up, right? I mean, the dude is tall. I had
Yeah.
to look up. And I look up at him and I went from a 30-year-old man to, you know, 10 years old again, bawling, and I just broke down in tears and he was like, "Hey man, what's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Man, you don't understand what this moment is for me." Like I had
Hmm.
my buddy on the side trying to record through security and he couldn't quite do it.
Right.
He knew, but man, I was like, "You don't know what this means to me meeting
Hmm.
you." I said literally, I said I had cerebral palsy growing up. I said I still suffer from it. I said when I was always being told by my birth giver, I will
Uh-huh.
not call her my mother. I will
Uh-huh.
call her the birth giver
Right.
because she is not a mom. But I will call her the birth giver. Growing up, she was always telling me, "You can't do this. You're going to get hurt. You can't do that. You're going to get hurt. Your cerebral palsy will prevent you from doing this. Why even try it?" Right? And that
Right.
mentality stuck with me because she beat it into my head.
Right.
But
It's your mom,
I
of
told,
course you're gonna listen to her, right?
yeah, I mean, but at the same time, you know, I told Sting this. I was like, I remember just growing up and just you on the screen, what you would say to the kids in the audience, to the kids at home. I was like, I always felt like because of you, because of what he did, that I could do stuff in life, right? That
Yeah.
if Sting said I can do anything I want to do, I can do anything I want to do,
Right.
and I told him that. And I told him that without without him as a child, I'm probably eh, Hogan to a certain extent, but without Sting, I'm not really a wrestling fan.
Right.
Without Sting, I probably don't pursue a lot of what I've pursued in life. And
Right.
I know that sounds weird because the man really had, I mean, obviously, I never met the man before I was 30 years old. But the
Uh-huh.
fact is that it was his actions on screen. For
Right.
a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, yeah,
Whatever it
you got
was,
a
something
talent."
resonated with you and it clicked in you, and regardless of what it was, it was an awesome thing. Like people, it could be a piece of music, it could be an
Yeah,
artist, it could be a comedian. It's anybody,
yeah,
in childhood that gives you confidence and breeds that in you. That's perfectly understandable,
yeah.
brother.
And that's the thing. That's what I told him. I was like, "Man, I'm crying because legitimately, I said, I'm not standing right now." And I told him this afterwards. I was like, or when I was able to collect myself, I saw him walking out and everything. And I told him afterwards, I ran up to him. I was like, "Sting, Sting." And he ran up. He's like, and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, hey." I said, "Look, I just want to tell you I'm able to collect myself now." I said, "But honestly," I said, "I was crying because I wasn't standing before you as a grown man." I said, "You were seeing that little kid in me, brought out again,
Yeah,
if that makes sense, you know."
that makes
But
absolute perfect sense, man. There's
yeah,
people like that I've met along the way that I felt the same thing about.
yeah,
It's
it's
people that
unreal. Sometimes people like those wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers probably don't think about it too often, but you have and a little bit of advice for today's wrestlers in this world. You have little kids out in that audience.
Right.
that your actions, good or bad, your actions, what you say, it resonates with them. It really
That's an
does.
impact.
Yeah. Remember what it was like when you guys were kids. You know, I was a teenager when most of these guys were kids, but remember what you were like at 8, 9 years old, looking up to guys like Alex Shelley, looking up to guys like, Cena and, Batista and the ruthless aggression era, right? I just want y'all
Speaking
to
of
remember.
wrestling, let's jump ahead to another subject real quick while we have time. AEW, I believe, is it tonight? Has somebody coming in? I
They
had
do.
heard tell somebody believes it could be Jeff Hardy. Have you heard anything on this, or
Oh,
do you
No, I
know if that's
haven't. So that's the
possible?
thing.
Or
I'm watching with the rest of y'all. Now, next week, they're in Nashville, and I have tickets. I have 2 tickets, right? I have 2 tickets.
uh
However, I'm only using one, Jerry.
there you go, baby, go.
You want to go? You
He
just
would
got to
love
pick
to
me
go.
up
Mm-hmm.
next
You
Wednesday.
can't miss an opportunity like that.
Where's it at?
Nashville.
It's in Nashville.
Let
It's
me
in
talk to
Nashville.
you after the show, brother.
All right, then.
I definitely think I will. Let's
That'd be great. Oh,
We'll just put
we'll
me on the
talk
spot.
after
Don't put me on the
show.
spot on the show.
Speaking of being on the spot, don't you have something you want to?
I do. I was going to make a separate video because I didn't really want to kind of steal
Just
Sean the
say it.
Sean, but I'll go ahead and spit it out real quick while I'm on here, and that way it's either reward
It's
or
all one and
punishment for
done.
watching or not watching the show. It's real hard. It's a real hard decision, and I still won't say the word retired because I'm a pro wrestler and I hate that.
Right.
But I have reached a point to where I cannot live up to the potential that I've lived up to in the past. I'm getting to a point to where I can't perform like I used to in the ring. A lot of my time working out now, a lot more of my time is doing rehab and flexibility and mobility, trying to fix things. And I'm really at a point to where I can't continue to break them down. Been doing it a really long time. I want to thank everybody who's ever been a part of my wrestling world. You help, just like watching this show, you helped me live my dream, from the fans to referees to bookers to all the organizations that reached out to me, to the ones that are still trying to book me. I'm not at a lack for bookings now. I have had some really good dear friends and made some other really good friends as well along the way. And I'm going to miss them because that's at some point in time, that's
Right.
sorry, this is just a lot harder. I didn't really have anything prepared, or I wasn't kind of put on the spot over here, but for that and some other reasons, including the show and wanting to make sure I put on a quality product, I'm not going to be wrestling from this point forward. In the future, who knows? Maybe I'll get to feeling great again, but I got to be confident enough that I can both perform at a certain level in the ring, and that my body will hold up, and it will not be, so much time because I do work a regular job. Got to support the family. I got kids, grandkids, and it's just come to that time. My bump card is, if it's not empty, it's I'm just about out. So thank you to everybody that tagged with me, every one of my opponents. I would name names, but I'm afraid I would forget too many. And point of this isn't to, hurt anybody else's feelings, but to just kind of make an announcement that if I've made an agreement with you, then I'll get in touch with you shortly, and I won't be able to make any more for now. And thanks to everybody who's ever watched me in the ring, who's been a fan, and my friends like you, Sean, who has been a part of my journey. Thank you very much. It's been awesome, but it's time to hang up the games.
It was a pleasure sharing the locker room with you for years.
Yeah, it was fun, and I may or may not still be around doing other things such as managing or commentating, or like I said, one day, I don't know. I won't say I'm retiring, and I hate making these
Never say
announcements.
never.
Yeah, like I'm a nobody who never was, but there's a couple people out there who are going to want to hear this. So that was for them, both of you. Thank you, Jesse McClure. I appreciate that, man. I hope you heard your spot on here, enjoyed it tonight. I'm trying to not get emotional. Yeah, shout outs
well, here,
to
I'll
everybody.
real quick then. So what I was talking about doing the conventions with my buddy and everything. The reason I brought that up is because on March, let me get the calendar out here, but it is on March 18th through the 20th. We will be in Atlanta for the Fandemic tour, Walking
Okay.
Dead. A lot of Walking Dead stars are going to be there.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I mean, a lot of them, from Norman Reedus to Sebastian Stan on up to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the guy who plays Negan. You know, he's going to be there. So,
Nice.
yeah.
That's
So,
awesome, brother.
legitimately, guys, if you have anything, so what we do, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
If you have anything that you want signed and you're not able to make it down there, or you just don't want to make the trip, it's not where you don't have the money to spend to go down there, get a hotel room, or to even just drive down there, right? Hit me up, or hit our page up, Dirty South Authentics. Hit that up, or hit me up personally. You can find me. He's tagged me a couple of times, and let us know what you have.
Tag Chronic at least once, so everybody that's watching the show will be able to directly find it as well.
I will. And but yeah, I mean, that's the thing, if you have something, you have a couple of pops you want to get signed, you have a poster you want to get signed, whatever, Robert England's going to be there.
Oh, wow.
It's unreal. It's unreal, the star power that this thing is going to have. So if you guys, if anybody listening, watching in the future, whatever, has anything that they want signed by somebody, get in touch with me or tag or get in touch with the Dirty South Authentics page and let me know. And what we will do is we'll give you our pricing. We'll give you the celebrities pricing, and you ship us your stuff. Or if you're local to me, come bring it to me. As long as I have it, as long as we're leaving out Thursday night. So as long as I have it by that Thursday, if you're local, only if you're local on this one, as long as I have it by Thursday night before.
And give them the dates again that this is going to be.
March 18th through the 20th.
Okay.
March 18th.
Pretty close to my birthday.
No, yeah. Well, I've got
grandson.
Hey,
no, I have another grandson on the way, and around that time, and
oh man, but
before we go, that fight we were just talking about, Juan Torres versus Ron Erla Guerrero, is April 9th, and will be on pay-per-view as well, or in Helena, Texas. I'm sorry, I apologize to all those people that live in Texas. It's a name as big as Texas.
There you go. Hey, but you know what? I mean, it's been a blast, man, and I look forward to doing everything. Yes. And in the future, if I do this show again, you can lump sum me all in one by saying entrepreneur.
There you go. That's great, because I was talking to Sean before the show. Other than Juan, who is let me run this down, BKFC pro fighter, pro boxer, pro MMA fighter, submission grappler, pro Muay Thai fighter,
Teacher of the Year.
Teacher of the Year. Did I leave anything out?
Probably.
Sean's got just about as many, so we're going to shave all that down. I think I'm going to start calling Juan simply a fighter, because he is, like I said before, an old school fighter. It doesn't matter.
And you can just
bare
call
knuckles,
me a coach and
MMA. Yeah, I'll just call you Coach Entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I'll just say,
look, real quick, for anybody that's listening as well, one final gift. If you've stuck with us and everything, and you listen to all of this, and you send me a message and tell me that you listened to me on the Chronic Conversations podcast, and you can tell me at least 2 things we talked about, I will let you have, I will give you a nutrition plan of your choice.
Nice.
With 1 month half off.
That is beautiful, man. We appreciate that. So you heard it there. Man, thank you so much. And get in touch with him with your personal training needs. If you have questions about the boxing gym in Red Bank or any of those other things, also the fight coming up in February, those are all things you can get in touch with him or Coach Kevin Kennymore about. Man, thank you so much for being on the show. I love you to death, brother. I can't wait till we do some more boxing stuff, man, because I miss boxing.
Are you not coming up on the 19th?
I believe we were supposed to be there, but I'm not 100%, so I don't want to say we are, but I think so. I think we are. Chronic Conversations, hopefully we'll be covering that. So hopefully we'll see you there, man. Thanks so much for doing the show. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for giving me your time. Like I said, it's a gift that you can't give back, and I appreciate you sharing that with us and the fans. Thank you to my wife for not dying and for putting me on the spot as much as she possibly humanly could tonight. I love you.
Oh, I also sell supplements and I also sell I also sell like replacement breakfast shakes and all that.
Okay.
Different supplements. So hit me up for that stuff as well for more info.
All your nutritional needs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Hit Sean up for all those 37 things I said. Hit him up for all those.
Yeah, everything.
You got money, hire him. He can do it. He's Jack of many trades.
Yeah, right.
Some might say jackass, some say Jack of many trades, either one.
Some might say Jack.
Hey, Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. All right, brother, man. Thank you so much.
I mean, I'm a masturbator, but that's beyond the
Yeah.
Jacking off on trades. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess, fair enough.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, right.
Love everybody. Peace out, man.
Peace out, y'all.
We're going to disappear in this.